Storyblocks Audio. Storyblocks Audio. Storyblocks Audio. Storyblocks Audio. Storyblocks Audio. Storyblocks Audio. Storyblocks Audio.
And resources to finally change your life forever, and a relationship-based support system to keep you going. For many of us, there is no easy way out of the mess we create in our lives, even if it wasn't your fault. But the good news is that there is a way out if you will choose to believe in the impossible. Welcome again. My name is Frank Salazar, and I've been a member of the Choose Change program for 9 years, and it's been a pleasure being here. We're having our founder and mentor, Orlando Salinas, speak tonight. But before I turn it over to him, I just want to say a few things. If you have a question during the meeting, please raise your hand and wait for the mic. That way, everyone in the live stream land can hear you clearly. And with that, with no further ado, Orlando Salinas, our senior mentor and founder.
Thank you, Frank. Great job, Frank. Great job. Isn't he doing a great job, Frank? Yeah, give him a hand. And if you don't realize that, you should have seen him when he walked in. He was about 10 different kind of meds and drugs. He was a mess. But God is able to touch our lives, and we can change. And I'm going to talk about that. We can change. We can change. But the question is always, but do you want to change your life? And the answer to that question is yes, then you're in the right place. So, guys, I want to welcome you guys. I just want to share just a couple of announcements before we get started. We have some dessert that my wife is going to be serving. So she'll probably come give you a little cup of dessert. So that's pretty awesome. They donated to us some good, I don't know what it is, pudding, banana pudding. So guys, my heart is a little bit heavy tonight because I got a phone call from a friend, grandmother, and it's hard, brother, what we do, what drug addiction and our selfish living does, man, it just destroys lives, right? Drug addiction and just selfish living. She called me to let me know that her grandson didn't make it. Went back to drugs. And it's hard to, for her, I can imagine, it's just devastating, you know. And I have a special guest here, Valentin, from Behavioral Health Solutions, right? I just met with him the other day, and he works with a lot of people as well. And I'm sure that he can relate to the people that he sees that fail, that the families, the crying mothers, the crying grandmothers, the spouses of men and family members that just didn't make it. And the reality is, not everybody makes it. And that's why I'm always grateful. I'm grateful. I'm so grateful that I made it out. And that's huge. And that should bring you to your knees. That you made it out. And once you make it out, brother, and what I mean by making it out is because it's not just stop using. There's a process involved here that's now the programming of your mind and your body, because it'll take you back. It'll take you back. Am I right or wrong, David? It'll take you back. Drug addiction is wicked, man. And this is why I start here. Drug addiction is here. You're in the crazy cycle. The drug addiction, prison, rehab, and it's a cycle. Once you get out of that cycle, the process begins. But getting out is not easy. Not everybody makes it. I got a letter today from, I went to the prison. I told you guys I went to prison in February 3rd and did my dead man walking dead presentation, shared my testimony, and I told him I'll be back. I gave him our address. He wrote to us. This 65-year-old man. So let me help you guys out here so that you can see where you're going if you don't make it. 65-year-old man writing. I gave my life to Christ. I've been coming in and out of jail since this and this happened and that happened. My family died and my ex-wife died and this and this and this. But I'm 65 years old and I'm ready to change my life. What do I tell him? And I'm grateful. I made it out. And it's hard to watch this stuff, but this is why I do what I do, because I know there's that starfish in there. Y'all remember the starfish? For those of you who don't know the story, I'll tell you the story. The grandfather took his grandson to and I'm telling you this story to let you know why I'm sitting and standing in front of you today. Because of the starfish, because you're a starfish. And the grandfather took his grandson to the beach on one Friday night. Afternoon, they got to the beach, but the rain came just like today. But it came hard. It rained all day Friday and all night. And then Saturday morning came up, and the grandson got up, looked through the window, beautiful sunny day. So he said, Grandpa, let's go to the beach. So they went out to the beach, and what had happened is the winds and the rain had washed ashore thousands of starfish. Thousands and thousands, for miles. And the little boy started throwing them in, picking one up, throwing it in, picking the other, the little boy. And the grandfather says, Son, what are you doing? He says, Grandpa, I learned in school that if these fish don't get back in the sea, they'll die. And the grandfather did this. He looked one way, and he looked another, and he said, it's impossible. You can't get them all. So he told his grandson, Son, there's thousands of them. What difference does it make? You can't get them all. And he picked up a starfish, and he says, it matters to this one. And he threw it in. See, it matters. You matter, Mike. You matter. You matter, David. See, and this is why I'm here. Because I know they're out there. And there's a crying mother, and there's a crying wife, there's a crying child hoping that her dad or her mom will get it right. It's tough, man. It's real deal. It's a real deal. And this is why I do what I do. So that we can fight. Because it's overwhelming. The fight is overwhelming. But guess what? We're here. And hundreds more that are in our church, and many out there, they're making it. There's some that are making it. It's not impossible, but you will have to believe in the impossible. So, guys, let me just have just a few announcements. Let me show you some dates that I have. Do you have them? Are you going to show them, Daniel? So part of what I'm doing in Choose to Change is not only am I doing my mentoring class here, but this year I'm going to be traveling and hopefully from now on into the prison system. So I already have 3 dates that I'm going to be on February 21st, which is next week. I'm going into the Substance Abuse Treatment Center, which I'll be able to go every month. So I'm going to talk to the people that are coming out, just like I talk to the people that are coming out of prison. I'm going to do the same thing here. So every month I'm going to do this. So this month is on the 24th, and then on the following Friday, which is the 23rd, I'm going to speak to all of them, because there's only a few that are graduating. But then I'm going to go and speak to the whole group, which is about 75 men and women in that place. So every month I'm going to be doing this. On May 1st, I'm going to a prison event. I'm going to the Gib Lewis unit and do my dead man walking presentation testimonial. So that's awesome. I already have that set. On May 3rd, we're going to another prison event. We're going to the Glass Brenner unit, which is the one we went to last month, or a couple of weeks ago. And again, I'm going to do my dead man walking presentation. And then on May 9th, we're having a chicken plate sale. I need help, so we'll talk more about that here in a minute. I have tickets for that plate sale already. We're raising money so that we can do these events because it costs money to go. And then on May 23rd, I'm going to the Gloss Brenner unit again. But in that presentation, that's supposed to be the seminar. That day, I'm going to do I'm going to do a seminar. It's not supposed to be the presentation, Daniel. That day, on the 23rd, I'm doing a seminar, which is a 7-day seminar in the prison, 6-hour seminar inside the prison, where I'm going to teach all this right here, the 7 major keys, so that they can start getting ready so that when they get out. So then it's pretty awesome because I'm going to go to different prisons. If they're from Texas, if they're from the Valley, they're going to come over here. They're going to know where to come. That's how it is. And we have a few churches in Texas that are doing the same thing I'm doing, which is in Austin and Temple, Texas. So I'm telling you, we're moving forward. So back to the May 9th fundraiser. I have the tickets here. So we had a donor that donated money so that we can buy all the chicken, we can buy all the things we need to do the event. So that's awesome. I already have cooks. Alex Vadillo, thank you, brother. Awesome cook. And he's gonna cook the chicken for us. And then what I need is help selling tickets, and also need people to help me serve that day. I'm going to talk to your parole officer to hopefully I think we can get you over there. So that's the 2 things I need. People to volunteer to help me that day, to help me serve. It's in the morning Saturday. Well, Saturday, the help that I need is Saturday from 10 o'clock in the morning. Well, probably like 9. From 9 in the morning to about 1. From 9 to 1. Because that's when we set up and we start making plates. ¿Verdad? Would you be able to help us? That way they can tell the parole officer. So no, that's next month. Yes, May 9th. May 9th. Oh, no, 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 no. March. I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry. That's March. I'm sorry, guys. It's March 9th. Did I put May? Oh, man. Man, who caught that? That's good. Great job. ¿Qué andamos haciendo en May? It's March. Sorry, man. That's awesome. Yeah, I get confused just doing all these. Well, we might. No. So March 9th. It's a Saturday. It will be at the McCoys. They allowed us to sit up there in McCoys on University and McCall. It's in Edinburgh on University and McCall. It's on the corner, so it's pretty awesome. We're gonna sit up there, uh, and so it's gonna be awesome. Saturday, March 9th. Two things I need: people to help me serve and kind of and deliver plates, and help me sell tickets. So in other words, I have these tickets in sets of 10. And like Hugo, he already took 10. He's going to try to sell those. And then if you want to take 10, if you can, but don't feel if you can't, and if you take it and you don't sell them, that's okay. But if you think you can sell them, you know, just let's talk about it afterwards, and we'll take it from there. All right, guys. So that's all the announcements I have for now. Let's get right into this. Last week, Jeremy Moreno did a great presentation on perspective and how you saw yourself, right? That was pretty awesome. Did you all like that? He's good. He's really good. He's a great young man, great pastor. And the week before that, what did we talk about? Well, I'll tell you. Goal setting. There you go. Goal setting. Does people have goals? Do you all have goals? There you go. Now, we won't go over them right now, but we will again here in the next month or so we can recap on that. But I just wanted to help you out with the goal setting just a little bit. What do you think goal setting is for? Why do you think I had you do it? Let me tell you why. Because I used to think goal setting doesn't work. When I first heard about goal setting, I said, what in the world is that? It just went over my head. Drug addict, vato loco forever. Don't do no goal setting. You know what I'm saying? Right? We're worried about tomorrow and the next day and the party and goal setting. And then when they started teaching me, I said, man, this stuff don't work. But you know what I found out? I didn't work. That's what I found out. I didn't work. Goal setting works, man. And let me tell you what goal setting is for. Okay, it's not designed for you can put it all down in paper and everything's going to work out perfect. No. It's designed to get you thinking. That's why I do it. Because you're not going to get it in the first 2 or 3 tries. It's an ongoing process of goal setting. Thinking about your future, thinking about your family, thinking about what you're going to do. It opens your eyes and your mind to your reality. And then it also starts giving you ideas of what maybe is really possible for you. That I started learning this in prison. I remember thinking about this, that was learning this goal setting stuff, and I couldn't, it was really difficult for me. They told me, what do you want to do when you get out of prison? What do you want to become? I couldn't think. I didn't think I could accomplish anything. I was a loser, vato loco forever. And I just didn't think I could. So it was very difficult for me to start putting something down there. Become a business owner. I scratch it out. That's crazy. Become a mentor speaker. No, I can't do that. You all see what I'm saying? It starts making you think. That's why I get you going on that. Because the other reason is because you need to learn how to start thinking ahead. How to think about your family. Some of us didn't have a driver's license. Michael just got his driver's license. I just found out Chavaria don't have his. I just put him on blast. We're going to get him his driver's license. And this is how it works, guys. Step by step. Once you get out of prison, once you get out of rehab, now the real work begins. And most people quit because it's work. You all with me? And so now we're here. And this week, what we're going to be talking about in the next 3 weeks is mindset. Because this is the process of change right here. Once you decide to change, then you get to a point where you want to change. It's called desire. You're going to need some faith. And the next thing you're going to have to learn, which is the core of your problem, is your mindset and your philosophy, which is what we're going to talk about today. And the reason that's so important is because that's where your attitude comes from. That's where your habits are developed. And that's how your lifestyle is designed, through your mindset. And all those things are important because all this takes you to your results in life, right? And results is what? It's the name of the game. It doesn't matter what you say, what you do, what show me. Don't tell me, show me how long you've been sober. Show me how long you've been at the job. Show me how your marriage is doing better. Show me how you're off parole now. Show me that you bought your first car. Show me that you're a better man today. Show me. Because results is the name of the game. But to get there, it starts in the mind, guys. And that's what I want to talk about tonight. And tonight, all I really want to do is I start this 3-part series of the mindset. We might even do a 4th one because there's so much to learn about the mind and how it works. And understanding the 3 things I want you to get from what we're going to share is I want you to understand why the right mindset or philosophy is so important. That's my goal, to help you understand why the right mindset or philosophy is so important, especially for us that are trying to get our life on track, to change our lives. It's vital. You have to understand it. I want you to you need to not let this go over your head. You have to trust me on this one. Just trust me on this. The second reason I'm going to work on this, I'm going to tell you about the mind. We're going to talk about the mindset, and what we're going to learn is how the mind works. And that's vital to understanding. Next week, we're going to talk about how the mind works. And you're going to really understand yourself a lot more once you understand how the mind works. And the third thing you're going to learn in the next 3 weeks is how to change your mindset. Because if you have a bad mindset, then how do you change it? Those are the 3 things that we're going to learn this week. And so let's jump right into this. Today, we're going to talk about why the right mindset is important. So I've been reading this book. Anybody has any questions before I go on? Let me see. I have a few minutes. Anybody have any questions before we move on? Mindset. We're going to talk about the mindset because this is the major part of this process of change. I've been reading this book called Switch On Your Brain by Caroline Leaf. Switch on your brain. You can actually, one day, you can be a loser, drug addict, no good, selfish person, and one day, in one moment, you can decide that you're going to change. Did you know you can do that? When I first heard that, bro, I just said, wow, really? I can do that? That's how I see you, Raymond. It's kind of like you said, you just decided you want to change your life. And something just clicked. And it doesn't change overnight, right? But the desire is there. And that's where it starts. You start the process. And in this book, Caroline talks about how she started teaching African kids. She was from Africa. And she started teaching African kids that were growing up without parents, that were in this war zone, that her parents had died of AIDS or in the war. and that these kids were in foster care, physically, emotionally, and mentally abused. And I mean, you can imagine, see, aquí, imagine in Africa, you can imagine the devastation, the heartache. And she talks about how she saw how these kids were so excited and how they responded when she was teaching them how that they can change their life, that their life can get better if they chose to, that they didn't have to stay the way they were. Kids in Africa. And the reason that caught my attention is because that I got excited when somebody first told me that I could change my life. When I started reading that it excited me. And she talks about how important to understand that the mind is the key to your change. It's the mind. Listen to what she says here. And this is in chapter 9 in this book. It's called what is the 21-day detox plan? The 21-day detox plan is about changing, renewing your mind, reprogramming your mind. That's what she's talking about. This is everything I teach here. This is why when I read this book, I said, man, I got it. I've read so many books, and this one kind of put it right together for me. Listen to this. Listen closely. It's powerful. She says, what is the 21-day detox plan? She says, the hardest part, listen closely, about achieving peak happiness, thinking, and health is remembering that we can choose them. That's what she's saying. She says, achieving health and happiness is not accomplished by putting on a brave and happy face. No, she says. Nor are they attained by adapting this ostrich mentality and pretending that problems don't exist or that everything is always going to be okay. The way to find this state of mind is by harnessing. Now, this is going to be hard to understand because it took me a while to get it. The neuroplasticity God has designed in our brain. Neuroplasticity, ay Jesús. What it means is that it's flexible. It can move. You can reshape it. That's what it means. And that God designed us that way. That if we, like I used to think I was just a vato loco forever, a loser, and I'll never change. That was my mindset. But this tells me, no, you can change that. You see how powerful that is? Okay, let's go on. And God designed in our brain, and choosing to rewire or renew our brain is your choice. It's powerful, man. This is what I teach here. She goes on to say, this is a lifestyle. And I came up with all this before I read this book, guys. She says, this is a lifestyle. In other words, the way you're going to change your mindset is going to take a lifestyle that has to do with your attitude and your habits. But let's move on. She says, when we can actively choose happiness rather than letting our external, the things that are happening to you, and the internal world that you're wired with, and learn thoughts the way you think. Do you think you're a loser? That's what he's talking about. And our biology define happiness for us. No, he says you can choose it. She says we need to wire in positive thoughts networks. This is just a scientific way of telling you what I'm teaching you here, brother. That's all this is. Now, wiring in positive thought networks that can fill us with the power to get us back on track. Listen to this, man. This is powerful. It is the implanted word. That's why we need God. That will save our souls. Who we are, who we are is where happiness really lies. But this is so often blocked by who you have become. So who you are today, in other words, is what's stopping you from becoming who you can be. Because you look at yourself, you look at your mirror, you look at your past, you look at what you have become. Like I used to look in the mirror and say, man, I'm just a loser drug addict, a loser father, a loser husband. I'll never change. That would stop me. That's what he say, from moving forward. And what I'm trying to help you understand today, men, is that we can change our lives, but you're going to have to understand that you need to change your mind and the way you think, your mindset. So, with that in mind, let's talk about the mind and the mindset. I just wanted to read you that little part of that book. It's really hard to understand. I don't understand it all, but I did understand this part. So, what is philosophy and what is mindset? Does anybody want to tell me? What is it? Hold on. What is mindset? What is philosophy? It's off. It says on. It says it's on. Try it. There you go.
I think it's the way you want to live your life, and your mindset is the way that you're already like it's already instilled in you of how you're gonna live your life.
So it's what it is a belief. It's a belief. It's a set of beliefs. It's set of beliefs. That's what the mindset is. In other words, like I used to look at myself in the mirror. That was a mindset. I believed this.
I can say I can think like in a way where like you subconsciously in your mind do it without even acknowledging it in your own person.
Do
Like-
what?
Like
Think that way?
you think that way
And that's where we're going. Why is that automatic?
because the way you were brought up.
Because that's part of it. Yep. And that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about that next week when we understand how the mind works. Because our subconscious and our conscious mind. And we're going to understand why we thought all these negative thoughts about ourselves. But right now, what I want you to focus on is that a mindset. Let me read this. What is mindset? Your mindset is a set of beliefs that shape who you are or how you make sense of the world and yourself. That's what a mindset is. It's a set of beliefs that you already have in your mind that come from your upbringing in many other areas, many other places, that shape how you make sense of the world and yourself. It influences how you think, how you feel, and behave in any given situation. It means that what you believe about yourself impacts your success or your failure, which is what Pastor Jeremy was talking about, right? How you see yourself. It's important. It goes on to say that mindset, according to Stanford psychologist Carol Dweck, your beliefs play a pivotal role in what you want and whether you can achieve it. How you believe it. In other words, if you don't believe that you're going to amount to anything or you'll change, then you're not going to change. And you're going to be blaming everybody except yourself. You have to change the way you think. Mindsets can influence how people behave in a wide range of situations in life. So there's something called a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. A fixed mindset and a growth mindset. And this is what I just really, those two things I want you to understand, and then I'm going to show you an illustration on how, what we're going to learn these 3 weeks. There's a fixed mindset, fixed, and a, what was the other one? Growth. Fixed mindset. And can anybody give me an example of the difference? Fixed has an ED. ED. Let me give you some examples. And this is what we're trying to change. I'm trying to get you from a fixed mindset, what you believe now, to a growth mindset. That's what we're trying to achieve in these next 3 weeks. I want you to get you from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset, because a fixed mindset will keep you where you're at today. So listen to the difference. Let me give you some examples of what a fixed mindset is. Here you go. It's when you say, like, either I'm good at it or I'm not. Either I'm good or I'm not. So you just have a black and white there. That's a fixed mindset. A growth mindset says, I can learn to do anything I want. You see the difference? Y'all see that? A fixed mindset says, I'll never change. Growth mind says, I'm going to change. You see how simple that is to change? Someone tells you, you're not going to make it, and you believe it. No, someone tells you, you're going to make it, you say, no, you're talking to the wrong person. I'm going to make it. Y'all see the difference or no? Here's another one. That's just who I am. That's a big one. Who's ever said that? Come on, who's honest? That's just who I am. I can't change it. Man, that was a big one for me. That's just who I am. That's a fixed mindset. The opposite to that is, which is a growth mindset, is I'm a constantly evolving work in progress. I guess I'm still under construction. You ever heard that before? God is still helping me. When you make mistakes, now, a lot of people take advantage of that, or they go to an extreme. It's just, God is still helping me. They go back to drugs or smoking or drinking. No, but y'all getting this? Fixed mindset. If you have to work hard, you don't have. Listen closely. The idea is, if you have to work hard, you don't have the abilities. In other words, if it's really getting hard to do what you want to do, then you just don't have the abilities. That's that way of thinking. The other way of thinking is this: the more you challenge yourself, the smarter you become. It is true, right? Everything I've learned, brother, everything I'm teaching you guys, I had no idea how to do this stuff. I just kept on doing it, kept on believing it, kept on believing it, kept on writing it. Today, I took down a big box of a lot of notes that I've taken throughout the years. And I opened a few today, and I'm talking about the same thing. I'm talking about the same thing. Because I believe in this, because I know this works. This is what everybody needs. They need to change their mindset. Another one: if I don't try, then I won't fail. It's called the fear of failure. If I don't try, I won't fail. It's like, somebody said, no, es que no puedo, so I'm not going to try. No, but that's a fixed mindset. A growth mindset says, I only fail when I stop trying. You already failed when you stop trying. So you all get that? I'll give you one more and then we'll close with this illustration. A fixed mindset says that job position is totally out of my league. That job position is totally out of my league. You know, Hugo, I hope you don't mind me telling you got a new job. Hugo got a new job with the city, with the county. And in his mind, it was probably like, wow, I'm going to get a job in the city, right? How am I going to do that? I don't qualify. Funny how he felt. I said, no, you go. And you go. And guess what? He got a job. That job position is totally out of my league. That's one way of looking at it. The other way is that job position looks challenging. Let me go apply for it. You see the difference, guys? And when you start thinking this way, things start changing. Your life starts changing. I don't know how to overemphasize, you guys, how I used to sound to some of these inmates when I was in prison. I was talking about this stuff in prison. They look at me crazy. I remember I was looking for a name for my business. And I asked a lot of inmates, a lot of my friends, hey, I'm going to start my own business and you're going to do it. If you're going to do this, what name would you give it? And they gave me a few names. And I guess they just figured, este está loco, pero bueno, ahí te va. And I'd ask people. And then I start going about my business and this and that because I'm always writing stuff. And after a while, they just go away. Go play dominoes or something. I don't want to hear all that. But see, I was serious about my life change. And that's what you have to do. You have to get serious about your life change. This is it, man. You can't lay at your house watching TV in the afternoons and doing nothing and you think your life is going to change. It's not going to work. In fact, it's going to get worse. You have to do something. And part of is coming to church, coming to this class, reading. There's a lot involved. To changing your life. But we're going to learn all that in this class and in the last 3 weeks. But what I want to give you right now, an illustration of the end result. When you start this process of change, of changing your mindset, which will change your life. You've heard that before, right? Change your mind, change your life. I'm going to show you how it works. The process from fixed mindset to growth mindset. From being a loser to being a winner. From being someone that you never thought could change to all of a sudden you're a changed man. From being a loser father, a loser husband, a loser son, to be a powerful man of God, husband, leader, pastor, business owner, whatever it is that you're going to. So let me tell you how that works. This is an illustration of the process. When we're small, when we're young, we all come into life clean, all the same, by the way, scared, naked, and what's the other one? Scared, naked, and afraid. I already said that, scared. Well, scared and naked, close enough. But with an empty mind, clean, pure. And we start growing up. He talked about stuff, how we grew up is how you start shaping your mind. How you grew up starts shaping who you are. What your mom taught you, what she didn't teach you, the abuse you went through, the neglect, the rejection, all that stuff. It starts building. And this is what starts happening. Brought my sin with me. Look at this. I need a spoon. I need a spoon. Comienza poco a poquito a emurarse tu vida. Little by little. Thank you, sir. We start getting scarred and stained in our life. Somewhere down the line, we start getting twisted. Maybe when we first got molested or abused. When we went to school. When we got into pornography. And your life starts getting dark. See, this is why so many people are depressed. This is it right here. This is why. Because they're in darkness. This is what the gospel of Jesus Christ is all about. Getting you out of darkness into light. then you get into drug addiction, and then, man, it just becomes wicked, man. Your mind is twisted. Am I right or wrong? And this is where most of us wound up. Twisted, out of control. And many of you still have this mindset. Miras por los lados, ay, ¿cómo le haces? And so this is where we started. This is where I started, man, right there. Then I started learning this that I'm telling you. And I started applying it. And my life started to change. And here how it worked. You know, went to prison in 1997. Went to prison, man. Started reading, gave my life to Jesus. Started reading all this stuff. I said, man, I'm going to change my life. Man, could it be real? Is it possible? And I kept reading and reading and reading, telling people I'm going to change. And by the time I'm 40 years old, on July 22nd, I walked out of prison at the age of 40 for the last time. But man, I tell you what, I could see clearly now. My mind had changed. Does that mean you're not going to make mistakes? Some of you are going to go right back. And that's why the consistency is so important. Because the consistency of more positive things, coming to church, prayer, believing in God, reading your Bible, reading books, asking questions. You see what I'm saying? This is how it works. And unless you do that, you're never going to change. You're never going to make it. You have to keep pouring into the growth mindset. Does that make sense? Amen. Help me out here, guys. Ooh. And that's what we're trying to do, guys, in this room. Change. Does anybody have any questions? Did y'all like that illustration? When I first saw it, I said, man, that's incredible. That illustration alone changed my life. And that's how it works. And that's what we're going to learn in the next 3 weeks. Beginning the process. Or for many of us, it's continuing the process, right? Continue the washing of the mind, because that's what we need, a good washing of the mind. I got a 5-step process for that. And we're going to continue doing that and continue doing that. And before you know it, you know, there's some people that left this room, got into church, connected, became disciples, became business owners, became pastors, became in our church. And this is what this is all about. Life change. Anybody have any other questions? Any questions, guys? All right, let's pass around the donation bucket. We're a self-supporting group. We always pass around a donation. About my donation. I guess so. Mr. Valentin, do you have any questions or thoughts or comments, if you may? We have a mic over there for you. No, we need the mic because of Livestream.
Okay. First of all, thank you guys for having me here. My name is Valentin Cerda.
Put it closer.
My name is Valentin Cerda. I am part of Behavioral Health Solutions.
Well, in fact, you know what? Why don't you come up here? Yeah. Right here. Thank you. God bless you, brother. Right here.
Good evening, guys. How are y'all doing today?
Over here.
How are y'all doing today? Good. How are y'all doing?
Put it closer, brother.
So again, my name is Valentin Cerda. I am a recovery coach for Behavioral Health Solutions. Those of y'all that don't know what a recovery coach is, it is a person that has life experienced and helps other people with issues that are going on in their lives: drugs, alcohol, marital,
You need to put that mic closer, bro. I'm sorry.
pornography. All of those things are combined into what I do. I started off just like you guys. sitting in a chair just like that. My drug of choice was cocaine. I had the same mindset, like you said. That illustration is awesome, guys, because it shows you with time and practice that muddy water turns into clear. I honestly thought you were going to turn it into wine. Oh, yeah, but no, it's important that we put in that work, guys. If you want to change that mindset, the work has to be put in. And I'm here to tell you, hey, if you put in that work, change will happen. And the reason I know change will happen, so 2 years ago, I was sitting in Bird Unit. I was facing a 5-year sentence. It wasn't my first time at one of these units. So in my lifetime, I've done a little bit under 8 years. 8 years in prison throughout 2 decades. I'm 47 years old now. I started when I was 25, and I had that mindset. I'm okay. I'm all right doing what I'm doing. It was something that I grew up around. So to me, it was normal. Everybody said, well, I drank that Kool-Aid. I lived that lifestyle. I liked it because I knew no other thing. And I kept, every time I kept going back to prison, I would tell everybody, I'm coming back. I'm just here just for a little bit. And so the last time I went in, that mindset started changing. An idea came to fruition. My knees right now hurt because that last year while I was incarcerated, I didn't get off those knees. I kept asking God. I kept putting in that work. I kept believing in change. Something has to change. The mind has to change first. I said, how am I going to do that? I said, works. Works. I have to put in the work in order for it to change. So I'm sitting there after 3 times I was passed up by parole. 3 times. And I was like, oh, wait, I'm going to do the whole 5 on this one. I settled in. So I started putting in that work, helping other gentlemen grow resumes, how to become a productive member in society, how to speak in front of people in interviews, how to put together a resume. There's a lot of brothers in there that don't know how to do those simple things. How do you set up a bank account? How do you go to the DMV and get your license? Little stuff that we figured at certain age you would know how to do all these things. And there's a lot of guys that don't know how to do this. So I put in that work and I started teaching everybody, doing the work that I'm doing now, but while I was incarcerated. All of a sudden, I'm going to work. I used to work for the warden. One of the boss mans tells me, like, hey, Settler, you're going home. I was like, I ain't going home, dude. I just got a denial. I said, I ain't going home. It's not my time. And it's funny thing, when God says it's your time, he opens the door. Never believed that. Never believed it till I saw it. So I go to work that morning. He's like, hey, you're going home. I was like, no, I just got a denial letter. It's right here in writing. I'm not going home. He's like, no, look at the computer. You're going home. I said, no, I don't believe it until I see it in writing. I'll believe it. How many of y'all heard that before in that big book? Oh, no, I don't believe you until I see you do it. Let me see that miracle. Let me see it. Then I'll believe you. Then I'll follow you. That's how arrogant I was. He was giving me everything. Never got in trouble in prison, never had any problems. I was considered an old school in there. So people left me alone. I knew how to move around the crowd. You know? I kept saying, like, hey, I'm good. I'm taken care of. What do I got to worry about? I didn't believe. Until that one day they said, like, here's the letter, here's in writing. Everything you've been doing and reading in that book is true. I was like, okay, I can do something with this. I still didn't believe it, but okay, if you're going to send me home, there's a reason it's time to come home. So I come home, right? And I still go to church. I go to the meetings. One day I go to a meeting on 23rd. AA parole says, you got to go to these meetings, man. You got to show up. This is part of your You're not out yet. You still got to go to these things. So I go to this meeting, and I'm already running late, man. I don't have my signatures. I got to see parole on Monday. I'm like, man, I'm in trouble already. I was like, okay, like, hey, I'm gonna take my consequences. I should have been doing better. I fell off. So I'm sitting in the parking lot and I'm waiting for this meeting to happen. The meeting's not happening. So I'm sitting in my truck and this guy comes around in the back corner. And I'm like, damn, this guy's gonna offer me something. Like, where did this dude come from? There's nobody in the parking lot. You know? So yeah, I roll the window down and say, what's up, man? He's like, hey, you looking for a meeting? I'm like, yeah, I'm looking for a meeting. He's like, oh, they canceled it, blah, blah, blah. They're not gonna be here today. I said, damn, what am I gonna do, right? So he's like, hey, there's a little QR code on the wall. First of all, I don't even know what a QR code is. Fresh out of jail. Yeah. Been in there for a while. So he shows me how to do it. And this lady's number comes up where I work at now. And we introduce, she tells me like, hey, come to these meetings and come sit down and listen to what we got to do. I'm like, okay. So I go to the meetings and I'm there for a year and a half and I'm listening to everybody talk. I'm captivated. I'm doing the talking. I'm talking about the craziest things, traffic, but I'm getting things off my chest while I'm at these meetings. I'm working my program, right? I'm working what God wanted me to do, but I didn't know what he wanted me to do. I just knew that he had me at this place for a particular moment in time. So I'm there, okay? And they're like, hey, why don't you do this? I'm like, do what? Host the meetings, work here. I'm like, no, I can't do that. I said, that's not me. I'm going back to the oil fields. You know, fixed mindset. This isn't for me. So lo and behold, it's my time to be able to go back to work. Went to my parole officer and said, hey, my boss already says brand new truck, office. Here's the paycheck you've been waiting for. You're going back to work. I'm like, all right, I'm ready. I'm about to make that money again, get back on my feet. God said, you're not going nowhere. I said, I ain't done with you yet. They're like, you can't leave the state of Texas. I'm like, why not? The parole officer said, you can't leave the state of Texas. I'm like, what do you mean I can't leave the state of Texas? I've done my time. Like, hey, I've been a good boy. Like, why not? Let me go. Nope, you still owe time. It's like, okay. He's like, figure it out. You're not going to go. Figure something else out. At that same time, God already started moving things. He started moving that, opening those doors, aligning the right people in the right places. That same lady who introduced me to this work that I'm doing now put in an application to go to school. I get this envelope. 2 months later, it says, the University of Texas. So, Doug Life, like, not going to college? I'm old school, gangster. Sold drugs my whole entire life. Like, I ain't no business going to college. And she's like, no, go to school. Go finish it. Go get what you need to go get. I still fought it. Still fought it. I said, you know what? I'm going to try this. I took the classes. I got my certification in recovery coach. It's an RSPS. One of the greatest thing about this certification that anybody in this room can get that. It's anybody in this room can get this certification and start a career. With your background, if you've been in prison, if you've been incarcerated in the state of Texas, you can get this certification and start a whole nother life doing what I can do. So I tell you, if me, a lost soul, can do what I'm doing now, it's possible. So a year and a half later, after going to these classes and going to this program, I get certified. I said, okay, what am I going to do with the certification now? God Almighty opens that door and says, hey, we have a job opportunity. I said, all right, let's go. Let's go do it. I said, I'm ready. I went in there cocky, guys. I went in there guns a-blazing. But that's not what they wanted. They wanted to see humility. They wanted to see somebody that was ready for a change of mind. They wanted to see something different. So I was denied. They said, no, you're not ready. We're not looking for that. Okay. Second time around, same thing again. Denied. No, you're not ready yet. I said, God, what do you want me to do? I'm doing everything you're asking me to do. No, little voice in the head says, you're not doing what I told you to do. Humble yourself. Change that mindset. Change the way you think and perceive things. I said, okay, I'm going to do it your way. I went in there humble. Third time, the director of the program calls me and says, hey, Sarah, what are you doing? And I said, nothing, getting ready to go back to work. I finished parole in March. So I'm ready to go. He's like, hey, why don't you come talk to me? Come sit down in my office and I want to meet you. I said, for what? You guys ready to deny me? Like, it's not going to happen. She's like, no, come talk to me. I said, okay. So I went in there with a different mindset, different attitude. Sat down and we talked about all the experiences I've had. When we were done with that interview, I walked out of there with the job. I was like, wow, they're gonna let me do this. And I said, I don't believe it. Remember, we go back to writing. There it is. There's a badge of where I work. And they said, guess what? We're gonna give you the keys to the building. You're gonna give a ex-con the keys to $1 million building? Are you sure y'all have the right guy here? Are you sure that's what y'all want to do? Yes, that's what we want to do. That's exactly what we want. We want you in particular to come talk to everybody you can talk to. And you tell them how you changed your life. I said, I didn't change it. I didn't change it. The man upstairs changed it for me. All I had to do was put in that work. All I had to do was change that mindset. All I had to do was just pay attention and listen. That's it. So when I tell you guys, if you wake up in the morning and you look at yourself in the mirror, first of all, as men, when you guys are in front of that mirror, I don't care what size. I was at 400 pounds at one time, guys. That's the other grace of God that I've been on that top of that mountain. I know what it looks like from upstairs. I know what the enemy offers you to. He offers you everything. As long as you deny that enemy and you believe in your higher power, he's going to walk you down the mountain and give you everything you want. But you got to put in that work. So in the morning, when you wake up and you look at yourself in the mirror, stand there proud. Hair undone, haven't shaved, haven't done the toothbrush, nothing. Look at yourself in the mirror and be like, damn, I'm sexy. Look at yourself in that mirror and tell yourself, guess what? Today is my day. Today, I'm going to do something that my higher power wants me to do. With that one mind change, one little thing that you do in the morning, just look at yourself in the mirror and say, today's my day. Give yourself that mentality of, I'm going to take over this world. I'm going to do what my higher power tells me to do. The lie that was told to us is don't look in that mirror and tell yourself that you're worth it. That's a lie that they tell you. One thing that I learned when I was incarcerated was men make men. Iron sharpens iron. Women make women. It goes both ways. Strength comes from within. Faith comes within. If you want something in life, you have to work for it. You have to change that mindset. You have to go for what you want to go for. Like he says, sitting down, not wanting it, it's not going to get you it. The day you decide to get up and look at yourself in the mirror and say, guess what? Today's my day, is when everything starts changing. Little things. And don't try to go and conquer the world from one day to the next. We start little. That mirror first. Second, you make your bed. And you're like, why make your bed? What's that gonna do? That's a win. So when you come home after your hard day and everything has attacked you and everything has come at you, and you look at your bed all nicely made up, nice and cold, and you're like, oh, okay, I get to go to bed now. I get to lie down in this nice, clean bed. Yeah, real quick, guys. So just to finish off, start believing in you first. Because once you start believing in you, you're going to start seeing that belief is going to start rotating around you. Other people are going to start coming around you because they're going to see something different in your life. You're different. Something changed. Something as small as that. But either way, thank you guys for having me. It's been an honor. God always puts us in the right places in front of the right people at certain times. So I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
I think you do. Yes, we do. Give it to Chava. All right, guys, that's all we have tonight. I think there's more bread pudding or no more. Did you say something for me? Awesome. We'll see you next week, guys. Same time.